Bernadette. When I first met Bernadette, I knew she was special. I had to know she was special. She told me she was, right away. She told me she was a Navajo princess, and she just turned 11 years old only 13 days ago. Bernadette loved coming to school. She wouldn't miss a day no matter what, and since she never got sick, that wouldn't be a problem. Her least favorite part of school was the calendar. Since her birthday was in August, she didn't get to celebrate her special day at school. Therefore, the first day of school for Bernadette was dedicated to inform everybody that it was her birthday just barely 2 weeks ago, and we had all missed it. Bernadette told me lots of things. Her mother was the president of the local tribal association. She told me the names of the mountains we could see from the top of Pine Hill, for which our school was named. She told me the best wood to burn in the winter and about the skinwalkers and coyotes. Sometimes Bernadette told me the same story more than once. Bernadette was not the smallest girl in the class, but one of the smallest. I had just moved to the Navajo Reservation in New Mexico to teach middle school social studies and computer skills to 6th and 7th graders. I was used to much bigger, older high school students whom I had worked with for the previous 5 years in Southside Chicago public and Catholic high schools. The similarity between the homogeneous black population of students in my Chicago classrooms and the homogeneous Native Americans was striking. But the similarity stopped right there. I was in a new world. My biggest concern was adjusting to the younger age, not to the different culture. Bernadette seemed a little older than 11 to me because she told me so many things I didn't know. But her fast little girl ramblings gave away her youth. Bernadette explained how the 8 clans of her local Navajo tribe left her few choices of boys she could marry, since she couldn't marry within her parents' or grandparents' clans. That left only 3 boys in her class that had all 4 grandparents of different clans than hers. This astounded me in 2 ways. First, that most of the students were pretty close relatives of each other. Second, that she had her eye on her potential husband at age 11. I couldn't help but feel sorry for those 3 boys as she inspected, compared, criticized, and tried to mold each one of them. One day, I mentioned the possibility of marrying an older or younger boy, and therefore not necessarily one of these 3 in her class. A new world opened up for little Bernadette, and a great weight was lifted from 3 terrified boys that only thought they knew what awaited them if they became Bernadette's choice. Although students wore modern sneakers, jeans, and t-shirts or sweatshirts to school, occasionally Bernadette would show up in a beaded traditional dress or moccasins. Some of the other students would poke fun at her, but not much. I think they appreciated her pride, and Bernadette's energy rubbed off on everybody. Everybody knew Bernadette. I saw her walk up to a group of seniors and stop their conversation to tell them something. Important? She cracked me up. She had more authority at the school than most of us teachers. I was very glad she was in my homeroom because if I needed last-minute photocopies, Bernadette was my ticket. The secondary school at Pine Hill ran 6th through 12th grade in the same building. There were 2 6th grade classes with nearly 30 kids in each. There were less than 10 seniors in grade 12. Sometimes it looked strange to me to see my little 6th graders winding their little ways through the hallways with the much bigger teenagers. I had to remember how this was not a normal school, though. Most of the kids were close or distant relatives to each other. On the other hand, it was harder to keep from wrestling or picking on each other for exactly that reason. "It's okay, Miz Coldwater. He's my cousin." The other 6th grade teacher had been at the school much longer than I. Therefore, she was exempt, and I became the 6th grade class sponsor. The kids wanted a Halloween party/fundraiser. They had lots of ideas and a long way to build up their class coffer for their senior trip. They wanted to get started. They would sell tickets for trips through their haunted house, have a Halloween cookie decorating stand, raffle prizes, and stuff old newspapers into a giant plastic garbage bag spider. As the calendar crawled closer to the big day, my tension must have been rising since Halloween was so much more important to my students than Mesopotamia and the Iron Age. Bernadette and her posse came looking for me and supplies one day. Tape, scissors, and the posters they had made. I reminded them about the mural rule. No tape on the painted murals. Yes, of course, they knew everything. "Come see, Miz Coldwater." "Why? What did you do?" "I can't remember exactly why I wasn't in the mood." We hung a poster in the perfect place. Everyone will see it. Girls, where exactly did you put it? Come see, we put it across from the cafeteria on the other side of the stage. The stage in the cafeteria was really like a great opening to the hallway. When the curtains were drawn, it enclosed the stage. With the curtains open, the other side of the stage was the hallway with a great mural painted on it. The huge mural showed proud warriors on horseback, the leader in feathers holding a spirit stick in his outstretched arm over his head. You didn't put the poster on the mural, did you? Come on! I let them drag me from my desk and could barely keep up with the laughing little maniacs. They beat me to the hallway and stood blocking the place where they hung their poster on the great warrior's mural. Bernadette, let me see where you hung it. The girls moved away from the wall and huddled together, their long, dark hair shaking from the hysterics. They managed to slice the poster into 3 pieces and tape the poster between the legs of the horse under the warrior chief. It was carefully taped so not a bit of the painted area was touched by the offensive masking tape's glue. I had to laugh too. They led me to believe they had disobeyed my instructions on purpose. At first I was offended, but later realized the murals meant a great deal to the students and they wouldn't damage it for anything. I also learned later that the naughty teasing they inflicted on me was not the disrespect I had suspected. It was the opposite. I learned a lot from Bernadette during the year. She accepted me as the stranger in her land and opened herself and her ways to me. She will be a great leader for her community.